Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Anyway, today we're going to talk about the Dyson vacuum cleaner, and we're going to go through it and figure out how to change the filter, do a little bit of maintenance to it to keep it going good. So this is a DC 14 for all the floors in your house. And it is the Dyson, like I've said. And for this one here, it's an upgrade for what my other vacuum, my older vacuum is. It's really easy to change the filter, clean the filter, that kind of stuff. My old one, you used to be able to take this off and you'd pull it straight out and wash the filter that's in there. They no longer have it in there. It's up in this area here in the top. Which is nice about this. The old one, this here was screwed down with a bunch of screws, and in time, realistically, you need to unscrew every one of those and wash this part here. Now, I do believe just pull this back a little bit. Oh, just a minute, I need to take this apart because I need to take this off. I'll pop that back on. You take this button here, you push it. It's hard to... Anyway, now to clean the filter that's washable in this thing, you have to take your canister off first. That sounds like heck, but that's okay by me. So far anyway. Anyway, this here, it does have directions on here somewhere. Oh, when you go to empty your canister, there's directions right in here that tell you how to take this apart. And for dumping the canister, you just hold this over your garbage can, you push this red button that's here, and it pops right here. Now, there's dust in here from whoever vacuumed last. Because, why? I bought this at a thrift store for $25. Fantastic deal. This thing wasn't abused by the looks of it to me. Anyway, the new improvement they have when you go to dump your canister here, they used to have a little rod that came through the center, and 9 times out of 10, that thing would break. So when you took this off, you had to hold the bottom of this, bring it over to your garbage can and drop it into the garbage can, let it empty itself out there. Then hold it and set it back on there. Now, this here comes down and there's a little clip here. This has a red button here. This is how you dump your canister now. Comes down through, and it just unlodges this here. And there you have it opened again. So that's a great improvement they've done to this vacuum cleaner. And now, let's get to the filter here. You just, on the handle to the end, you can see where you just pop this up. And right here is the filter you wash. Just pull it out, and on here, you might be able to see that behind all that dirt. Tells you to wash this thing, and I usually use Dawn soap, dishwashing soap, and soak this in it. And then squeeze it, work that dirt out, rinse it until it's nice and clean. I also wash this part, and then I don't put this back in for 24 hours. I just do that for myself. I want this thing to dry out good instead of possibly sitting in here and trying to mold or whatever. So anyway, I'll take this into the house, wash it, and I'll be reinstalling it a little bit later. Now the other thing is that's nice, like I said at the beginning, I don't have any screws here, and this here is where the suction, we'll say, is going on, and they have tubes in here all the way around. Those things that start caking with dirt, depending on how bad your place is, whether you have animals or anything else, and it's good to wash this whole thing out in here to make it vacuum better. And let's see. You can take this totally apart. There are screws in here so you can still take this thing off. I don't think I'd worry about that too much. Unless you're really having a problem, which I can't believe that. And also, go ahead and take the canister off. Here again, if you push that little red button, it'll open this up. Let me go ahead and dump the rest of this dirt out so it stops falling all over the place. I'll be right back. Okay, now to clean this in here, go ahead and push a red button to release this bottom. And now, go ahead and set it down on something, but pull this back. The whole thing comes off. Now take that and wash that in the sink if you like, which that's what I do. Get this rubber seal good and whatnot, and ready to have a nice, clean, fresh smelling vacuum. Even though this one doesn't necessarily put out that filthy smell and whatnot because of the filters. And also, while I'm thinking about it, I don't care what kind of vacuum you have. I wouldn't use that powdery stuff you stick on your carpet because I don't think that's too healthy for the bags if you have bags, or any of your filter that are in your vacuum cleaner. But as you can see here, the air sucks back into here or whatever and blows out, and you can see where we have this dust buildup, and so it'd be nice to get that washed out. And if you flow the water through here when this is open, most of this will come out. I don't know if you can see clear inside there, but you can see where the dirt needs to be washed out, and you'll be amazed how much dirt comes out of this thing from just normal use. So to reinstall this part here, it's better if you pop this thing open again. While it's open, there's a catch on the back side here, which catches inside the back here. So what you do is you pop this under, get squared up in there, pop it under, come back to this side, push it up in. There, it's on already. Close this up. Now you're ready. Oh, by the way, before I put this on, you don't have to change it that often, but inside here is the Hepa filter. Now the way to get that out, there's a little button in here you have to push, and I find it's easier if you take a screwdriver. I don't know how else you'd do it. I use 2 screwdrivers. I push that in. Here, let me lay this down. I found that's easier too. Go ahead and pop it like you're going to do the floor. I push this down, and I put another screwdriver in here just to get it to start prying up. Now it's starting to pry up. There's another tab right over here. You'll notice that the corners are missing on it. That's because you can get a screwdriver here, and while pushing up right in the center where you just did it, pop that back a little bit and it'll pop out of there. Yeah, that sounds terrible, but it's natural. Stand this thing back up. That just pops right off. You set it back there to pop it back down, but right here, oops, come back here. Right here is your Hepa filter.
It's 3 o'clock.
I hope you can't see anything you're not supposed to.
You change this whole filter. And obviously this one's been used a while. You can see I need to order a new one. But this here keeps the filth out of your air while you're vacuuming. And this doesn't need it inside here, but you can take a damp cloth or whatever and just wipe this down in here. Take your new filter, pop it in there. And like I say, you don't need these that often, but it doesn't hurt to check them every once in a while. I'd suggest check them once a year. I don't know what they suggest, but it depends on how dirty your house normally is, how much vacuuming you have to do, the volume of vacuuming you have to do. And here, these two tabs, pay attention, they go on against that. And you can put this in here and just line up the end, pop it, pop the sides down, then pop the end down. That's all ready to go. It's nice to check your rubber gaskets here. You can see a little bit of, we'll say, dust or whatever on them, but you can sometimes tell whether they're starting to leak. And if they're starting to leak, it doesn't hurt to take them out and try to fluff them up a little bit, because sometimes they've been sucked so much that they don't like working anymore. And of course these just pop right back in here, and online you can order new rubbers for this. To get that on there, it does have a lip, just push up when you're putting it on there. Same with that one. And if you have one of these, you already know, you get something caught in here, you can take this out. It does have a rubber gasket and another rubber gasket here. You can wipe these out. This is a tube that goes straight over to here. It takes all the dirt from here, comes up, comes through this tube, out, and into your hopper. Clicks back in. Now the next thing you want to pay attention to is the underside here. Now this one here, you can tell they must have had possibly shag carpet or something, because there's a lot of this stuff on there. Easiest way, give these a quarter turn. There are 3 of them here, and this should lift up now and out. Now if you'd like, go ahead and take this into the sink and wash it up. You have these little wheels here. Now be careful, because those could fall out. I see that a couple of these aren't rolling, so I'll probably take them out and see if there's dust in them. But anyway, this here is where you can get to your belt to take a look to see what it looks like. And what I found, take a knife, and you'll see the bristles in here. Stay away from them. Just run your knife up against the center and you can get them out. Or if you want, just keep pulling on these little threads, or dog hair, human hair, whatever, because this stuff will come out. I think it's easier to cut it. But don't cut yourself when you're cutting this stuff out. Oh, by the way, these do pop out. I'll show you how to get that. But why don't I do that now? So these pop right out. What you want to do is take the belt off. And they have a tool meant for this. I just slide my screwdriver in here. Oh, there. What am I looking for? I don't know. So what you're going to do is you're going to stretch. This takes a little bit of effort if you don't have the tool. But you stretch this belt back off of here. So work it back and forth. It'll come. I'm making it look difficult, and it is difficult. It's not easy, but it'll come off of there. Like I say, if you get the tool, which I will admit, I have the tool, but I don't know where it's at. There we go. So here, now you can check, see if these are okay. Now I find usually this here wears out, and then it binds up. You can order new brushes online, which they come with these. I wouldn't worry about washing this. The most important thing is get the strings and hair away from these bearings here, because once this freezes up inside here, this will freeze up and not go around anymore and burn up your belt. Now I will admit I've taken these apart because I had one froze up, and I was able to get the end off. I stuck some grease in here, popped it back together, even though this was a little bit melted from overheating. The thing works great. Let's just say I was lucky. I don't have a big house, a lot of carpet or anything, in which, so it was great for me. And these vacuum cleaners, you don't have to have carpet, because they work great on bare floors and they don't cause much dust at all. So anyway, in here, I'm gonna pull this stuff out of here too. I'm not gonna take this in and wash it. I don't know what that's for. Anyway, I'm not going to take this in to wash it. I mean, if you want to wash it, go for it, but I'm not going to. This is where all the dirt happens. Get all the hair out. Now these things, when you go to put this back in, you need to make sure they're turned right, because you'll notice that there's a groove in here, and there's a little deal on here. I don't know if you can see that or not. It has to fit in here, so it'll be down far enough. But for getting the belt put back on, don't care about it until get the belt back onto it. And pull it up, and I'm just going to work this end in there. And of course, make sure you have the rounded end, or the rounded part where the belt rides to the right end. Okay, I got the more pointy end pointing back. Trim this by hand. You can see the belt still on the motor, and the belt looks good. And this belt, it says it fits a Dyson, which is DY. Then they have the letter DC07, which I think that's what most of these bigger vacuums are. And then it has a C/B on it. While I'm here, I can check my tube, which this tube here is a clear tube, so you can see if there's any clog in there. In fact, you can look straight down. You can pull that one deal out and see whether there's anything in it, like a pencil, Q-tips. Let's see what I do with the... Okay. To get these wheels out, like I say, this one's froze up. This one hardly rolls at all. This one's real free. Put your hand back here, but be careful. I noticed on the inside, there's a place that you can push the screw, the shaft out. And there you go. Which I'll take the hose shaft out so I can clean it, get all this fuzz out of here. And I'll go ahead and take them out of these others too. And I'll take this in and clean it up a little bit better. This one's froze up. So trying to be careful. See, right in here you can see where you can put your screwdriver in to hit the axle to the wheel. Takes a little bit of doing. There we go. Pop it out. And you can see there's a dirt buildup and whatnot in there. And also this rod has got rust on it. So you clean that up a little bit and these things will roll again. It's not important these things roll. I mean, it'd be nice if they did. But this will stop the possible squeaking on your linoleum, tile, whatever you have in there. So let me get these things cleaned up. Okay, I'm putting these axles back in. Make sure it's pushed clear over where it falls down and push hard. Let me put my other one down. The other one popped right in. Snap, snap. Okay, it's not that easy sometimes. There we go. It's in there. Set it in there. It's in there. So to put this back on, This here I set in there first. Of course, it goes up to the front, and you'll notice there's 4 little plastic deals sticking out there. They will catch inside here. Then make sure your screws here, or catches, are all turned the proper way. This here needs to go up against the brush. Take your handy dandy screwdriver and give these a quarter turn back again. Now that's back into place. And they're ready to go. This Hepa Filter, I just went online and it's a few cents cheaper. Well, it wasn't really cheaper. Amazon was under $9 for one Hepa filter. I went on eBay and I found just under $9 I could get 2 Hepa filters. And it's coming from New Jersey. So it's going to take a little while, but I have plenty of time. And we'll put a new filter in here as soon as it comes, just because it's dirty. The rest of the stuff, it's all drying right now. Piece of cake to put all back together again, the same way you took it apart. And then this vacuum will be ready to go and have a clean. This minute.
It's 4 o'clock. The safety harness is chafing.
I'll show you what that was in a second. But anyway, this thing will be ready to go as soon as I get this filter changed. And I don't know, I'm very happy, like I mentioned, about the upgrades this has compared to the original one that I have. Still, these are a heavy vacuum cleaner if you have to carry them up the stairs. But if you're younger, it's not going to be a problem. For an older person, you might not like this vacuum cleaner. But for one that is really clean, fresh to the air when you're using it, this is the one to go with, in my opinion. So let me show you my clock that was just making some noise. In another video, if you go back, you'll see where I cleaned this clock, fixed it. The timepiece wasn't working. I have a new one in there. And I still need to make the arm for him. When he comes out, he's supposed to open and close the door like a cuckoo clock. Love this clock.